He had survived the traumatic deaths of his parents, an experience that had nearly driven him to madness. But with the help of his small companion, he embarked on a path of vengeance for his extinct race. A journey that would lead him to save Earth from an alien invasion and ultimately to his own demise. Today, I will explore the original Wingnut and Screwloose. Wingnut was created in 1989 by Ryan Brown for the TMNT serial minicomics. From the earliest designs of the character, it was pretty evident that the inspiration for Wingnut was Batman. With 1989 also being the year of Batmania, who could blame him? In the mini-comic trilogy that came out with the Ralston Purina serial, Wingnut was another of the Shredder's minions, who faced the Turtles as they were trying to save Casey from being turned into a mutant octopus. We could assume that this early version of Wingnut was a mutant, and while his organic wings weren't visible, it was already established that he couldn't fly without technological help. Wingnut later debuted in the Archie comics and the Playmates toy line. While I'm not entirely sure, I believe that Steve Murphy's comic book origin was used to pitch the action figure. It was in this backstory that his companion was added, Screwloose, a character created by Steve Murphy with Steve Levine and Peter Laird. While his bio was mostly identical to the Archie version, the action figure went harder with the Batman theme, making him a superhero equipped with a bat gun, a bat bomb, and a bat belt. And as far as I know, they never got sued. Wingnut and Screwloose came from the planet Huanu in Dimension X, where it was eternally nighttime, and the skies were forever red. Wingnut was an only child who lost more than just his parents during an invasion by Krang's army. His race became nearly extinct following the death of all the female members. Their species had a symbiotic relationship with another. These bat-like creatures would allow mosquitoes to feed on their blood in exchange for the ability to sleep. Probably a necessity since it was always nighttime on Huanu. The near extinction of Wingnut's race almost certainly doomed Screwloose's race as well. But Wingnut wasn't a regular specimen of his species. He was born with underdeveloped wings, something he had in common with Screwloose. So the two put their allowances together to get Wingnut a pair of artificial wings to fly. This brush with extinction nearly drove Wingnut mad, and he increasingly depended on his small companion for support. During one of the many interdimensional trips that Cuddly the Cowlick took, he inadvertently opened a dimensional doorway that let these two pass through to Earth. The Turtles first encountered the duo in the pages of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures No. 8, back in February 1990. The boys, still wearing their intergalactic wrestling costumes, tried to stop Wingnut and Screwloose, who were caught trying to destroy all the city's skylights, mistakenly believing Krang was hiding under one of them. Up to that point, the Turtles had regarded Krang as somewhat of a non-threat, but that perspective quickly changed after they heard Screwloose's story. Realizing they had severely underestimated their foe, the Turtles' eyes were opened to Krang's true danger. Cuddly soon returned to apprehend the dynamic duo. With no home left to return to, he whisked them away to the Stump asteroid to start new careers in professional wrestling. The duo later resurfaced during the Turtles' final showdown with Krang on the planet Herobil, where they played a crucial role in helping the Turtles defeat Shredder, Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady, albeit temporarily. After some time, the alien queen known as Maligna initiated her invasion of Earth. This dire threat motivated Leatherhead, Wingnut, and Screwloose to return to Earth to prevent another world from succumbing to an alien invasion. Once on Earth, they teamed up with Man Ray, Dreadmon, Jaguar, and Mondo Gecko to form the Mighty Mutanimals. Together, they successfully repelled the invasion. In the aftermath, they assisted Jaguar in finding his mother by following the path of the Four Winds. During this quest, a giant snake crushed Wingnut's metallic wings. This left Wingnut unable to fly, but he would slowly learn how to do it with his small wings. He couldn't do it for long, but it would be enough for short distances. By 1994, the Mutanimals series was cancelled, and Steve Murphy decided to kill off all the characters, including Wingnut and Screwloose, in the story titled Megadeth. In this plot, the villainous Gang of Four, sent by Mr. Null and Queen Maligna, murdered the Mutanimals. Their deaths were later avenged by Slash. Although there was potential to bring back the characters in a more serious and edgy manner, The cancellation of the TMNT adventure series prevented their return. Like other characters from Archie's adventures, Wingnut made his video game debut in 1993's Super NES version of TMNT Tournament Fighters. He joined the tournament just for fun, though he wasn't opposed to the prize money. At the same time, Ryan Brown and Steve Murphy were attempting to launch a Mutanimals cartoon. In the animation bible for the series, Wingnut had a nemesis named Luna Wing, who was operating under Maligna's orders as part of the Earth Invasion's Night Shift. Luna Wing possessed the power to determine life or death for beings by trapping them in cocoons made of supernatural silk. Meanwhile, Wingnut and Screwloose maintained the same origin story as they had in the comics. However, since Playmates had already released toys for most of the characters, there was no incentive to produce a new cartoon, and the Mutanimals never made it into their own show. If you want to learn more about the Mutanimals cartoon and comics, check out my very detailed Mutanimals video. The tragic ending that befell Wingnut and Screwloose spurred fans to seek closure. One such instance occurred in the fan-made project TMNT Odyssey. In this story, all the Mutanimals were resurrected to exact revenge on Mr. Null, tearing him to pieces before returning to the afterlife. As with many of Steve Murphy's tales, the story of Wingnut and Screwloose serves as a cautionary tale about human actions. It reinforces the importance of leaving the planet in a better state than we found it, particularly regarding wildlife preservation, as the extinction of one species can lead to the demise of other symbiotic species. Personally, I would have enjoyed seeing more stories featuring Wingnut. Once he joined the Mutanimals, he had to compete for space with many other characters, and the brief lifespan of the series didn't allow for a Wingnut-centric storyline. I'll cover the other versions of Wingnut and Screwloose in future videos. Now it's your turn to share. Is this your favorite version of Wingnut? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the sewers.